sure that they have. So what I should probably be doing is sitting in Muscovy. Oh, got rebels fighting, so Swedish rebels are now rising up. Muscovy just sitting here in Lund, staring across the Öresund towards Copenhagen. Oh, more notifications coming up. Penderik and Shizo Dude, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Look at Hungary falling apart. Oh, wow. Yeah. Hungarian nobles. Oh, this is just a pretender rising. Or is it? Nope, this is internal conflicts. -3... Yeah, okay. Hungary is in for a world of pain. And the Ottomans are probably watching this going, ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Muscovy is now having a call for peace. So Muscovy is going to need to peace out fairly soon. What is the peace deal going to be? At this point, France might even just want to unconditional, because that will force them to peace him out. But then France is going to have to give stuff up here. And Muscovy is more likely to want stuff from Sweden and Norway than from the French. Now this is going to be interesting. Is Muscovy going to give stuff to their allies or not? Because Muscovy has participated 28%. Castile has done 20% of the heavy lifting here. England's done 17%. Aragon's done 17%. This has actually been a very equal share of the work. And see this. 28% of this war has been borne by Denmark. 71% by France. This is France really... Like, this was unnecessary. This was completely unnecessary. And I've been saying for a while France can bounce back, but I am not sure that they can after this one. I hope he sticks with it. I really do hope he sticks with it. But I'm not convinced. Oh, we have Aragon versus the Danes. This is the Aragonese galley fleet. Aragon, of course, having naval ideas and Aragonese galley combat ability, but there's just too many Danes there. Couldn't do it. And Denmark has maritime. Does Denmark... Does that give morale or anything? That's Muscovy. I don't think it does. You have the better navy admirals. You have the bigger fleet. Like, Denmark's fleet is going to be horrendous. But no. But how much of naval have you completed? You do have the galley combat ability. Like, your galleys are going to hit like a truck. Plus 45%. And that could be even higher if you had the right doctrine. Right now you have the wrong doctrine. Especially at this early in the stage, in the game. You probably, for that battle, wanted this one. Another 15% combat ability. Aragon also getting a call for peace. So these guys are probably yelling at Muscovy to do a deal. And with that defeat, I doubt that Aragon's going to try and force a crossing. Like, this is inland sea. So if Aragon could have snuck their galleys into this, they would have been more effective. Oh, we have Aragon fighting against the French. And I clicked the wrong thing there. I'm so sorry. France winning. The Ottomans sitting next door. Oh, here come the Ottomans. This is a battle I want to watch. Ottomans coming into their 4.3 versus 3.7. Tactics 1.6. They're higher tech. They also have more discipline. And that's a stack wipe. France is gone. Plus, of course, the 3-star general with his level 5. I think it was shock. Yeah, 4 fire, 5 shock. That is a really good general, especially in 1506. Like, kind of scarily good. What's your land tradition? 78. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Like, France is actually really poor. I'm surprised it's that low. Oh, and I'm fairly sure that the Ottomans have high professionalism. Yep, they have the highest professionalism in the world. That Ottoman army is scary as hell. And now the last province from France is being sieged. And someone just lost stability. I think it was Aragon for some reason. Right, I'm going to hold on to Muscovy because I want to see if these guys are trying to peace out or not. Because France really should be. They're suffering a lot of war exhaustion now. Nowhere near as much as these guys have, but Aragon's up to 10 war exhaustion. Muscovy has obviously been paying it down. Castile and England, that's roughly where I'd expect it to be right now. Aragon's is really high. Why is that so high? I'm not seeing any peace deals coming in. Didn't Hungary and Wallachia? They may well have, yeah. I just realised I haven't poured myself a single tea yet, so I need to go and sort that out. A major oversight on my part. I didn't even take the tea bags out. This is going to be horrifically strong. Are they trying to bankrupt France? I don't think they need to. I think that this is Denmark being stubborn. Because remember, Denmark's the war leader here. Denmark's the one that has to peace out. France can peace out with Muscovy, and I reckon France could get a decent deal with Muscovy. Because Muscovy has zero interest in French. Alright, Ottomans are peaced out. And... oh, I don't even get a log? Oh, man. Can't tell you what the peace deal was. I suspect money. We can tell, actually, by how much money you have. How many loans. France has no... France is bankrupt already. Oh, and the rebels... no, there were no rebels. Now Aragon's just going to piece everything down. And all of these holdings are Aragonese. So Castile has given their stuff to Aragon? Really? Now that surprises me, because if I was Castile, I'd want to be stopping Aragon from taking all of this. Like, the last person I would trust is Aragon. But then again, Castile doesn't exactly have a lot of friends around the world, so he's probably trying to butter the Aragonese up a bit and ensure that the Iberian peace holds. So, okay, fine. I can see both ways. Meanwhile, we've got Swedish noble rebels. Hello.
You're probably wondering why I pieced out of the Danish.
I'm guessing money?
Well, the AI was I finally found out what was wrong with the economy. The AI decided to hire a level 3 mill advisor, something I didn't.
Ah, yes, that does tend to be expensive.
Yeah, I only had level 1 of everything. But, you know, I hate the AI. I'm sorry.
I saw your battles against the French. Those were...
oh yeah, that was great. I just attacked him into one of their forts. I'm like, yeah, I've seen what my army can do against them. Let's just go.
And especially as France doesn't have Elan yet. You had, I think, 0.6 more morale than they did and 0.3 more tactics. Not to mention the general and the professionalism.
Oh yes, oh yes. I love my professionalism, yeah.
It's impressive. Like, you've clearly done a lot of drilling.
Actually, no, not at all. Really? That's what's weird. Yeah, I haven't had time.
Is it necessary events that give you it then?
Oh, but yeah,
I've never actually played as the Ottomans, so I don't know how they work.
Well, see ya, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And France is still not being pieced out here. Yeah, I think Denmark's just using the fact that it's Denmark. Like, Denmark is playing this like an island nation should play this. What Muscovy... they can't. I was going to say what Muscovy should try and do is go after Jutland, but they can't. Because I'm pretty sure that Poland and Lithuania wouldn't give them access. Brandenburg probably wouldn't give them access. Because then if they took Jutland out, then they could really do some more damage. It would literally just be Copenhagen holding. But as it is, Copenhagen being the capital, that's a lot of war score you're missing out on, although they do have a 71%. And it's only going to climb as France stubbornly refuses to give up. Just peace Muscovy out. We haven't had a single peace deal. I've stayed on Muscovy this entire time and we've had no peace offers. Well, Aragon sent their navy around. They tried, and they were thrashed really quite soundly. Which surprised me. Like, I knew the Danish would have a decent fleet because of being maritime, but Aragon's gone naval. Naval ideas trump maritime in terms of wartime strength. It's just that Denmark just had a lot more ships. I think Denmark won't peace out. They want to let Sweden suffer. Is Denmark taking calls for peace? No. So what Muscovy should be doing at this point is stab hitting Denmark. They have 0 stability. They would not be able to hold that for very long. Right now, you are just causing your allies to suffer. Although the monthly war exhaustion's gone down again. I guess it resets when a country pieces out. So the fact that the Ottomans left is a good thing for the Muscovites. So Aragon up to 13 war exhaustion. That's going to be causing them rebel problems. That's why all of this is happening. And Aragon is not able to contend with the French rebels. And during all of this time, France is letting that bankruptcy counter just tick down. Like, there's nothing they can do. Age of Reformation, from east to west. This is the age of religious conviction, debates, and mass movements. I got a pop-up. It's my first one. I'm so happy. Oh, hang on. We have another player who wants to join. Those might be English separatists. Those are English separatists. So again, this is fine from England's perspective. England's, yeah, fine. Just let those timers run down as well. Oh, except it's not occupied yet. And the Danish army, I think, is still hiding in the Shetlands. But the Danes have naval superiority, so they could be more active and more involved here, but they aren't. But if the separatists take all of this stuff, then they might have to. I'm not sure. England might actually want to be over here just to protect those. Because if we click on England, I can't do it right now because of this pop-up, but then we'd be able to see that Kiwis joined, so that is Ethiopia. No, Portugal. The Kiwi is Portugal. Who have their own problems to deal with. So it's just Ethiopia that's missing at this point. Can I check Champagne? Not right now. I literally can't do anything. I can't zoom, I can't click, nothing. Oh, I see what you mean. Champagne split away. France was broken. And Burgundy is gobbling it up. Sweden's not occupied anymore. Sweden had a bunch of rebels. I don't know what that means though. Props to Brittany for existing. Honestly, with the way that France has been victimized, I'm not surprised. France really needs to get a new group of friends after this. Possibly even try and join the Iberian Alliance. Although these two are rivals, they're not allied. They're only brought into this because they're both allied with Muscovy. Rivals. Aragon's rivals with Castile. Could Muscovy be undoing sieges? You can't, as far as I know. And I doubt it's Sweden, because Sweden's army is hiding in Copenhagen. At this stage, maybe France should ally England. France definitely needs some new allies. You know what? France should ally Morocco. I think France needs to go Morocco Ottomans. Because Morocco definitely wants to counter the Iberians. The Ottomans probably do. And the Franco-Ottoman thing was actually a historical reality. Holland is a piece of England, yes. They wanted London, but they couldn't afford it, so they took Essex instead. Which I think was a mistake. They should have taken Lincoln, because that's a centre of trade in the English Channel trade node. What mission can you do, Portugal? Defeat the Knights! No! Oh, different knights. Castile is back to occupying. Right, what was I going to check? Sweden. What's happened to Sweden? Oops, that's not Sweden. That's Sweden. Sweden's bankrupt. I don't think the country was broken, though, and I don't think bankruptcy would get you unoccupied. I think that was just rebels. I think rebels enforced demands. They were noble rebels, so they probably have a new ruler. Except they can't, because their ruler is Danish. There's a personal union. Not sure how that works if nobles rebel, like what their demands are. That might have been why they accepted the demands, because they weren't that bad. 20 war exhaustion. This is going to be bad for a lot of countries. But no peace deals being offered from either side. Well, we don't know if the Muscovites are offering, but the Danes aren't. France isn't. Again, we haven't seen a single peace offering. Nobles increase autonomy. Oh, we can check that. Yeah, that would be it. That's a lot of autonomy. And these are like core Swedish territories. So there you go. Good knowledge. Yeah, we're going to stay on Muscovy. Because I want to see those peace deals if and when they come through. So Denmark being the... No, Denmark... Danish conquest of Kolar. Denmark is the offensive. It was a Norwegian claim. Muscovy's got the maximum war score. Just stab hit them. You've got more than 50%, you can start stab hitting. You should. Because again, the sooner you get out of this war, the sooner you can support Sweden's independence and actually break them free from Denmark. Like, the longer you drag this out, the worse it becomes for you. I mean, sure, you're breaking France, but France is already well and truly broken. And now you're breaking Aragon. Your allies are starting to suffer because of the call for peace, and that's just continuing to climb. Huzzah! Oh, winged hussars. I'm seeing... Oh, the Polish-Lithuanians have joined the Muscovites. Lithuania, Livonian Order, Poland. And now Jutland falls. So Poland making their first aggressive move of the game. Who was that? Sparrowhawk, thank you very much for the 10 months. Well, that was a quick month. Months are... Well, February especially is pretty quick. Royal marriage from Burgundy. So, Denmark. So, Denmark's going to lose Lübeck here. The Danish armies have actually made it back to Denmark, where they're going to be fighting against the Poles. Now, has Brandenburg joined? Brandenburg is still staying completely neutral. So, Poland might not have a way of getting there unless Brandenburg gives them access. But I think because those two are allied, that's fairly likely. That's France. Brandenburg has given nobody access. Now, Poland's got to be putting pressure on Brandenburg to give them access, surely. Oh, peace deal, peace deal. Peace offer from Denmark. White peace. Yeah. Okay, so I think that Poland is trying to get access through Brandenburg. I want to click on Poland, but I also want to see these peace deals. Like, we've still not had a single peace deal from France. That's a lot of military access being requested. And they're still not giving it. Could this be the betrayal between... Yeah. Brandenburg and Poland are not allied. Brandenburg and Bohemia really dislike each other. That's Silesia trying to get access. Brunswick wants access. What's going on? I don't want to ask the players right now because it's in the game. I mean, they're fighting a war at the moment. I think Brandenburg's profiteering from this. They control the entire Baltic Sea. Let's have a look. Lübeck trade node, still primarily Denmark. Hamburg is the one that's really raking it in during this, because they're not in the war, so they'll just be making cash. Meanwhile, in the Baltic, Poland has got the most power. Yeah, well, I guess they own the whole of the Danzig area. And Sweden, it's not making very much. Brandenburg is in the Saxony node. Has Brandenburg always been in Saxony? I could have sworn they were Lübeck. In fact, I'm fairly sure that Brandenburg used to be in Lübeck. I don't remember ever having to collect in Saxony with them. I remember pushing trade out of Saxony. But then again, I have not played as Brandenburg for quite a long time. What mod are we playing with? We are playing with the no dev, no institution development, so you can't just spam development to get institutions. It has to spread naturally. Which means that there's a lot more incentive to try and get it to spawn in or near you, and then it also increases player agreements between each other for knowledge sharing and stuff like that. And it also means if you're not playing in Europe, you're going to take up a hell of a lot slower. Which means that the East is trying to get technologies from the West, while the West is just trying to exploit them. Sound familiar? I think they were in Lübeck before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they used to be. Castile and Aragon have peaced out, so France is still in it. Poland has peaced out too. Well, that was a quick intervention, Poland. France, just 20 war exhaustion. Still not trying to convert anything, even though his economy is better. And the fact he's not convert... Oh no, he's been flipped back to Catholic. Fair enough. Castile, meanwhile, is a little over halfway to conversion. Austria is basically done. Brandenburg is done. Holland has gone Protestant. That was a sneaky one. Did not see that. But nobody else. Right, one area that we have not looked at for a while. Let's look away from that war. Mali continues to expand into West Africa. When we started the game, they were up to about here, I think, and now they've spread through this bit. The Congo has not done very much expansion, I don't think, and are in fact having a couple of rebels, which they don't seem particularly interested in dealing with right now. There are no other cores on their territory with the exception of that one.
I want to warn you, there might be a Castellan curb stomp very soon.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya. I love it when players do that. It's like, by the way, this thing's going to happen. Okay. Ethiopia is not here right now, but Ethiopia is still alive. Like, I know that Ethiopia was terrified of the Mamelukes. Quite rightly, but then I think the Mamelukes are also kind of squaring up against the Ottomans there. And then Daiviet. Daiviet, I think, has expanded. Go back to the diplomatic map mode. Yeah, there's some cores over there. Lanzang, all of this. So they've defeated Lanzang again? I don't remember if this was from last time or from this time, but I'm fairly sure the Daiviet have expanded. Brunei. Oh, the other question is, Daiviet is a colonizer, I think. And they are colonizing Taiwan. Interesting. Meanwhile, Brunei is also a colonizer. And they're going for Australia. We're going to have the Bruneian colony of Australia. Interesting. Very interesting. Meanwhile, in this war, England is requesting you come to their aid in the Calderan conquest of betrayal against Kildare, Portugal, Holland, Morocco, Calibia, and Tugont. This is a defensive war. We need to help our ally. Kildare is allied to France, Portugal, Holland, and Morocco. Interesting. Was this an English aggression? Calderan conquest. Nope, this is Kildare going against England. Kildare called in their allies. France said no. Or wasn't called. England is on their own. England has no navy. Morocco Kildare's allied to Morocco. Morocco is actually one of the few countries that has a fleet. Thankfully, most of the English forces are here, but Kildare has a pretty big army, and the Dutch are also here. And it does look kind of like England's been completely abandoned by their allies. The perfidious Danes. Muscovy, truce. Castile, truce. This wasn't England, this is Kildare. Morocco should just conquer some islands around the world and pirate everyone. I believe that is Morocco's plan, because he is a colonizer. Although, I think he's still only got the one colony. Maharo, yeah. He colonizes a lot slower than Portugal does. And Portugal actually being here again, getting more of Haiti. Nothing else out there. Let's see if they have any other colonists. Mauryan and Maguna, so they're just doing Haiti. Trying to gobble up as much of the Caribbean as possible, which honestly is wise. Like, you want to have a strong Caribbean colonial nation to help you defend that area. Meanwhile, Denmark's still in their war. Denmark is not getting called for peace. Muscovy isn't either. So have other people peaced out? I don't think so. The war score continues to fall. How long has France got until their bankruptcy is over? 1st of July next year. Okay, so France's bankruptcy is actually almost over. France has got pretender rebels, which are almost certainly going to fire, so France is going to lose their 153 ruler, because he can't defend against that. Meanwhile, England is definitely the most interesting place to be right now, so let's keep an eye on this. England still has the war exhaustion from their war against Denmark, and is still occupying their Danish holdings. The Moroccan fleet is here, but no Moroccan troops, as far as I can tell. Portugal has arrived. And England is also in debt. How heavily? 500? 600? 600. 607. Quick maths. Can you not make the island of Ireland? He probably can. I wonder what's required. Form Irish nation. Must have admin 10. And be at peace. We're not at admin 10 yet. We're at admin 9. So, soon. Same with Russia. That's why Muscovy hasn't formed Russia. Because he also needs admin 10. Who is besieging London? Nobody. Although the English forces are now going to real London. As opposed to Mordretopia. Hey, he's renamed it. I can always tell what mood Bob's in by the name of London. Mordretopia usually means good mood, I think. Like, I don't think that this is necessarily going to go against the English here. Although Denmark's moving their fleet around again, but no troops. This is just their war fleet. Meanwhile, Sweden being completely reconquered. I wonder... Oh no, Denmark's just going to blockade. Probably trying to raise some money through blockading. But yeah, after this war, I think I would be pretty pissed off as Sweden against Denmark. That war of independence is going to happen. Denmark at 20 war exhaustion. I wonder how on earth rebels haven't risen yet. English separatists, Hanoverian separatists, Holsteinian separatists, Northumbrian separatists, and Scottish separatists. I mean, they are happening. They just haven't happened yet. Peace offer from Denmark to England. So England thinks... sorry, Denmark thinks they've beaten England. That is not a good deal to accept. Game of war exhaustion, yeah. I mean, because we're only on speed 2, it's going to feel very slow, but these countries are definitely going to take some humongous hits. So right now, Brandenburg, Poland, Austria, Morocco, Ottomans, all looking really strong compared to these guys. Holland having done the very wise thing of just staying the hell out of that cataclysmic war.